How you post online equates to how you live. Are people going to resonate with this? Do I need to change the language? How should I edit it? What hook should I do? A barrier into shifting that is the cringe. I used to cringe at people being emotional online publicly. We did that at the most pivotal time. Hello, welcome back to the Clarity Podcast. My name is Lucy. And I've got notes today, like I am ready to go. This is something that has been on my mind quite a lot lately. The topic for today is, what should I call it? I guess I'm going to call it alchemizing the cringe factor around social media. I have realized lately that I am an alchemist. I turn my thoughts and emotions into action quite strongly, quite powerfully, and I've realized that this week. But what I want to do is teach you how to alchemize the limiting beliefs that you may have around social media so that we can all live in a world where the spark that we feel inside, like I spoke about in another episode, so if you don't know what I'm on about, listen to that. If you have a spark and you have a limiting belief around being seen or showing up or stepping into that, I want this episode to maybe help you shed that so that you are able to step into it more. And my first realization is this: how you post online equates to how you live. And what I mean by that is the fact that we self-edit every time we want to go to post or share something. We have the algorithm telling us what to do. We have our audience telling us how to be. We have to be likable. We have to be palatable. We have to be tolerable. We have to conform to the algorithm, and it's a mirror image of how we are in life. We people please, we dim our light, we are small when we should be big and we should be truly ourselves. And it happens through conditioning, which we know and I've spoken about so much before, that we conform to what society tells us we need to be through our learning of how to be a human, through our life. But now on top of that, we live in this world where we have social media telling us how to conform as well. And without realizing it, we probably intend or aim to be authentic when we show up online. But we are self-editing. We might have an intention or a spark or an idea or an inspiration of something that we want to share or post. But then we'll ask ourselves, how short does this need to be for people to listen to me? Do I need to change this so that it will be likable? Are people going to resonate with this? Do I need to change the language? How should I edit it? What hook should I do? And without realizing it, slowly this inspiration or this spark that was truly your soul's authentic self wanting to be seen starts to shift into something entirely different, something that isn't you at all. And that starts to become second nature. That has an effect on us, right? That starts to mold us and it becomes a performance. And so there's this very real mirror opportunity that we can take when we go to post online, is seeing it for what it truly is. We're people pleasing when we're posting if we're trying to do it for the wrong reasons. We edit our soul's spark to be palatable. And that isn't the intention of what the soul wanted to do. We are here to be our true, unique selves. Our soul isn't here to be easy to digest or to please Karen down the road who thinks it's cringe when you sing, so you don't sing. Or, that's probably one that hits home to me. And then we have to really look inward when we're doing our self-reflection and our shadow work as to where our individual triggers come from when we see people show up online authentically. If you're self-editing your posts, you're self-editing your life. And I don't mean editing as in making it look nice and putting fancy colours on in edits and being creative. That's not what I mean. I mean self-editing. Editing who you are, what you wanted to say, how you wanted to show up. If you're changing that and you're self-editing you in your posts, then you're probably self-editing in life. And we need to change that. We need to shift that. And a barrier that I think my generation has into shifting that is the cringe. I think there's a millennial guilt, if you will, because we grew up half without social media and we were introduced to social media halfway through our upbringing. We knew what life was like before it. And so I feel like we now have grown up thinking that social media makes us feel like being seen has an ulterior motive, because our first introduction to social media was for validation, to be popular. It was all about popularity. It was all about us pinning each other against each other. We literally ranked our friends publicly. We literally ranked people according to their looks and their appearance publicly. We did that. And that happened at the most pivotal time in our adolescence. It was when we were forming our identities. It was our formative years. It was when we were stepping into our teenage years, into adulthood, when we were learning how to stand alone, when we were learning how to navigate the social world, when we were starting to be conscious of our looks. We were faced with that, a popularity war. And so people posted with that in mind, to favour that, to favour being chosen and for validation, for likes, for rankings. And it probably really negatively affected us. And I don't think we speak about that enough. And so we've equated unconsciously, if you haven't done the shadow work, but this is my shadow work coming out, I think, for the collective. We equated social media posting to be in favour of validation. And so when we see people showing up online, we automatically, subconsciously judge that person's intention, which makes us cringe when we see someone doing something that is vulnerable or open. And I know that I have also equated my job with people's intentions online. I've equated social media to mean customer acquisition, customer retention, the success or growth of a company, or a business or a service. And so I've always had that motive. And that's something that I've really shifted this year when I've started to do things for me and not for business, not for money, but for my soul. I think that we feel as though people being real or sharing themselves is automatically up for judgment. And I've been on the receiving end of this, but I've also had my perspective shifted lately, because I used to cringe at people being emotional online. Sorry for the noise. I assumed it was attention seeking. And then the other day, I got to experience firsthand how it's not attention seeking. Because in the depths of despair, when I don't know what the word is for how sad I was. I was inconsolable. I could barely breathe. And for some reason, I found myself picking up the phone and videoing it. Even just saying that now makes me cringe. So I've still got some work to do. And I just captured this raw moment when my soul was just laid bare. And I haven't even done anything with the video, but I watched it back to see, to witness. I was witnessing my soul. My soul wanted to be witnessed in that moment. And that is where my next epiphany happened. There is a beauty to living in this age. There is a beauty to living in this digital age. My soul knew in that moment, this would help people. This would help people to know, because you're going to alchemize this moment. You're going to turn this into positivity, which I have done. And that could be helping so many people learn how to do that instead of turning to negative behaviors. My soul knew in that moment that this despair that I was feeling was going to end up being used for good. This age of Aquarius is here for a reason. People came to this time for a reason. Even me, who seemingly doesn't like this digital world, even though I'm sat on a camera filming a podcast. And I think this is something that I realised once I'd qualified in my angelic Reiki, because now I know I need to be seen because of the purpose that I feel within my soul, because it feels divinely orchestrated, because I know I need to be in service to others and I know I need to reach people. And not coming from a place of ego, because angelic Reiki has nothing to do with ego. It's coming from a place of finally realizing that I'm kind of meant for more through angelic Reiki. It's not an option anymore. It's a requirement, and it's got nothing to do with what my unconscious bias was towards social media, my unconscious feelings towards, oh, people are doing for validation, people are doing that for likes. It's not now, because now I'm on the other end of all of those limiting beliefs, and I've been shown through experiences that have been gifted to me. I've taken the mirror opportunities and I've used them to see the other side, the other perspective, to help shift and to alchemize. So what once would have made me cringe, I've been gifted the opportunity to experience on the other side. What once I used to think was for validation, I realize now it's because we have a purpose and it's a requirement to be seen. We need to step into giving ourselves the validation that we need. If we're still posting the validation, really sit with that one in your journal as well, because so many people will say that they're not doing it for validation when truly they are. If we can give ourselves that validation and ourselves that love, then we won't require it from the posting. We won't require it from social media. So we're not going to be posting for likes. We're not going to be posting for the algorithm or for the audience. We're not going to be self-editing our posts or our ideas, because we won't need the algorithm to rule it. We give ourselves that our own love now. What we need to start doing is posting to fulfill a purpose that is bigger than our embarrassment. I'm going to say that again. We need to post to fulfill a purpose that is bigger than our embarrassment, that is bigger than our cringe. It's bigger than the unconscious limiting beliefs that the world has placed upon us. But we need to realize that we have them and then shed them. And it's not performative. Posting authentically It's remembering who the fuck you are, you know? When you have found a purpose and when you have found something that you are meant to do and you found that spark within, again, watch that spark episode. Honestly, you need to listen to that spark episode if you're listening to this one. You realize that, like I said before, you're posting for something bigger than you. And so all of the people that you may feel are holding you back, it's not for them. I've seen so many videos of people saying, I started a new account and I blocked everyone I knew. Why? Because you're cringing, because you feel like you can't be seen, because you're people pleasing them. But all I would say to you is, it's not for the people that are going to cringe. It's not for the people that aren't going to understand what you're doing. It's not for the people that are going to bitch or judge or think that you're doing it for the wrong reasons or assume that you're doing it for validation and so like snigger or speak to someone about it. It's not for them. It's for your people. It's for your tribe. It's for the people who it's going to resonate with. That's it. You done, sir? You done? Don't edit who you are or edit what you want to post about, because you'll edit in life. And also to the people that have started new accounts and blocked all their family and friends online, if that helps you, then go for it. If that helps you follow your spark, go for it. But I would say this, I truly believe that we get to a point where we awaken past a stage that our family and friends are comfortable with. You have to outgrow the version of you that your family and friends allow so that you can serve the people who actually need you. If you have a purpose in life and a spark in life that you need to follow, it will supersede your circle. It will reach far beyond your circle because it needs to. So that will require you to outgrow the version of you that circle limits you to. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying that it's a negative thing and that people are going to fall out with you and you're not going to get along with your family anymore. I'm just saying that some of your family and friends might cringe at you. That's all I'm saying. Whelps, can we not, babe? And that in itself is shadow work. Because then you have to think about, why do they think that it's cringe? What am I doing wrong? And it's nothing to do with you. It's everybody else's conditioning. The new formula is going to be this. Feel it. Should I put it up on the screen? Trust it. Say it. Post it. Become it. Because what I feel is going to happen if we use social media correctly is it's going to excavate the version of us that has been conditioned. When you are constantly editing yourself to fit an algorithm or an audience, you're slowly going to become that. It's conditioning boxing you in. We're going to be shrinking and conforming into this box that this algorithm or this audience wants us to be in because we want to be liked. But actually what we need to do is feel it, trust it, say it, because then we'll become it. We can use social media as a tool for shadow work because we'll have to push past the ego. We'll have to push past the cringe. We'll have to push through the limiting beliefs to post authentically. And if we do that, if we do those steps, we will become our most authentic selves, because it's probably the hardest place to do it. Posting is actually going to become the cure for people pleasing, using it as a tool to affirm ourselves, to find our voice. Because then if you're following your spark, if you're following your inspiration and you're honoring that without the self-editing of it, without the conforming to it, without the taking the parts out, and then it ends up basically just something really generic anyway. Without doing that anymore, you're offering yourself to be seen as the most authentic version of you, regardless of likes, regardless of validation. And you don't need the validation because you're giving yourself that love. And you're posting anyway because you know now that you have a purpose and it's a requirement to be seen. So all these things stitch together so beautifully, don't they? And we're alchemizing the cringe. We have to shut out that noise that everyone screams about, that it's about hooks and virality and metrics. And this is all coming from a social media manager as well, by the way, which is how ironic, you know? The ultimate goal is to become the version of you online that your inner child would be obsessed with, would just want to follow and become and be inspired by. To appear online as fully authentic, fully yourself, for your soul's mission, for your soul's purpose, because you understand now that you need to be seen. You need to reach people because you are meant for more. And not to hide anymore, not to cringe and not to judge. Because that's authenticity. That is following your inner voice. That is following your higher self's guidance. Anyway, that's all I've got to say for today. That's something that I'm going through at the minute. Let's spread our word. Let's spread our truth. Let's spread our gifts. Because that is how we're going to shift into a better society. That is how we're going to shift into this new age. Let it be the cure. Let it help us to become our most authentic selves after years of social media masking who we really were. And if people don't like it, it's not for them. And that's it. Share who you are without any obstacles. I'm going to do the same. I hope you enjoyed this one. Love you, as always. See you on the next one.